All right, studio time check says it's 35 minutes past 6 a.m. Good morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State, where we take a look at all programs relating to the family. Yes, that's what we do here. So if you're a member of a family, this is the ideal station for you because we are your number one family radio station. Wells Radio is located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, and that's where we carry out our business from. We invite you to do business with us. You can come to our physical office here along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. It's the Wells Broadcasting House, a white building with blue accents. You'll see it's written boldly, Wells Radio 89.3 FM Konga Gbomagbe. So come in and do business with us or reach out to us on our WhatsApp number 0915 4999 893. That's 0915 4999 893. You can also send us a mail to realwellsradio@gmail.com. That's real, REAL, realwellsradio@gmail.com. Or you can send an inquiry to any of our social media platforms and we'll respond to you. We're on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Wells Radio 893. We're also on Facebook. We have a fan page on Facebook, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Okay, so you can be a part of the family. You can send us messages for sponsorship and advertisement. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola, and the program this morning is Perspectives Unlimited. On Perspectives Unlimited, we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in the country. Meanwhile, how are you doing today? I hope you're good. I hope you're in a positive frame of mind, because I believe that things are going to work out for you today. Just set your mind to it, pray to God, and believe. Those are the things that I'll urge you to do this morning. All right, we're going to be taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies. As I said, I have right in front of me the Punch newspaper. I also have the Daily Trust newspaper as well. All right, so we'll start from the Punch newspaper quickly this morning, where the lead headline says 2027 opposition splits over NAS poll shift plan. NAS bill seeks to move presidential governorship polls to November 2026. PDP, NNPP alleged tenure extension plot. ADC, Labour Party differ. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. More headlines: ASU strike grounds varsities. Federal government clamps down. That's on page 2. Makinde wants Wike camp against stopping PDP convention. You find that story on page 14 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines: retired AIG leads probe into killings by Oshun Amotekun. That's on page 19. Slain husband's family slams Tinubu's pardon for Miriam Sonda. That's on page 18. Borno maintains lead at 7.4 million complete online voter registration. That's on page 18 as well. Fubara swears in SSG, cautions against power abuse. That's on page 19. And we see this: Lagos rearranges kidnap kingpin Evans over 2 cops murder. That's on page 4. I've always wondered where Evans was. We'll take a look at that story and many more. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the headlines are similar. Pardon me, the headlines are similar. But we have here Enugu Commissioners quit PDP as Mba joins APC. You'll find that on page 13. Super Eagles face Benin in must-win World Cup qualifier today. That's on page 17. More headlines: soldier allegedly commits suicide after killing wife in Niger. That's on page 25. 10 governors attend traditional rulers meeting in Lagos. You find that on page 12. Cameroon's coalition claims early victory in presidential poll. That's also there. Varsity shut. ASU rejects no work, no pay policy. That's on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Let's see if we can take one more daily and take a look at the headlines. On the front page of the This Day newspaper. The leading headline says 2027 National Assembly proposes November 2026 for presidential governorship election. Targets end to post-swearing-in litigation. You find that on page 9. Religious leaders reject U.S.'s claim of genocide against Nigerian Christians. U.S. officials in Nigeria say initial findings show both faiths impacted. Can once again designating Nigeria country of special concern, says it will lead to suffering and leeway for terrorists to operate. JNI, Murik, others insist killers should be treated as criminals. You found that story on the front page of This Day newspaper, continued on page 9. More headlines. Presidency allays fears over Edun's health, says he's getting better. That's on page 5. Rewane, Nigeria's economic recovery tangible, rooted in fiscal consolidation and sectoral resilience. We subjected NBS data to both empirical and anecdotal tests. Investors, analysts view data as mostly genuine. That story is on page 9. On the front page, actually, continued on page 9 of the This Day newspaper this morning. All right, those are some of the headlines we're going to be taking a look at on the different dailies in Nigeria this morning. And you're welcome to join us. In fact, we actually want you to join us on the conversation this morning. And also joining us, already a part of us, is our analyst on the show today, Mr. Chukwemeka Munachi. So good morning to you.
Good morning, Bola.
How do you do?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm always okay.
I'm laughing. Because that's just it. That's the only way that one can really survive, by having the mindset of the cup is half full rather than half empty. So thank you once again for always inspiring this.
Yes, thank you, Bola. Your happiness must not depend on external. It must be inside.
Very true. All right. Now we take a look at things making the rounds across the dailies in Nigeria this morning. And of great concern to me is this headline that is across all the dailies about the Punch puts it as 2027 opposition splits over NAS poll shift plan. NAS bill seeks to move presidential governorship polls to November 2026. PDP, NNPP alleged tenure extension plots. ADC, Labour Party differ. On the front page of This Day, it says 2027 National Assembly proposes November 2026 for presidential governorship elections. Targets end to post swearing-in litigation. And the Daily Trust says National Assembly wants elections to hold earlier. Has this ever happened before?
Bola, we are in a very strange time. You understand? When we say these things, a lot of people take up cudgels and sticks and the stones and throw at us. I have never seen a situation where governance has been abandoned for the sake of political offices, as we are witnessing today in Nigeria. Nobody is talking about the welfare of Nigerians. Nobody is talking about the insecurity that has bedeviled this country. Nobody is talking about army of the poor Nigerians that are everywhere. Nobody is talking about ravages of drugs destroying our youths, our future. Nobody is talking about how do we fix this country. All we are fixated about, obsessed with, is about position. It's a tragedy, honestly speaking. I have not seen it like this before. Because every day you wake up, you hope to hear that, we are taking steps to ameliorate the sufferings of the mass of this country, people of this country. You can't hear it. All we are talking about defection, gale of defection, 2027, doing this, doing that. Is that why people are in office? That's the question.
Let's take a look at this story particularly. On the This Day, it says, in a move that could significantly reshape Nigeria's electoral calendar and reduce post-election disputes, the National Assembly has proposed that the next presidential and governorship elections be held in November 2026, 6 months ahead of the traditional February to March schedule. The proposal, contained in the draft amendments to the Electoral Act 2022, was unveiled yesterday during a one-day public hearing organized by the Joint Committee on Electoral Matters of the Senate and House of Representatives. Now, this amendment sought to ensure that all election litigations were concluded before the swearing-in of newly elected leaders on May 29, 2027.
Bola, this is all theater. You know what I'm saying? How many Nigerians in the streets care about this arrangement they are making? Nigerians want to see.
Do you think? I think the question here is: do you think that there is a need for this?
Bola, look, when we truly understand what it means to have electoral reform, we will get to this. But what I am after is this: how many of our people, how many Nigerians that are facing daily combat to survive cares about when presidential governorship? Is it all about political position?
But many people are saying, or not many people are saying, it's evident that the elections are the only way for, forgive me for using the word disgruntled Nigerians who don't believe in the current administration, to probably vote them out.
Listen, Bola, people that are down and out, people that are living below breadline cannot think for themselves. We are not talking about what we are saying. You have a mandate.
If that's the case, that means that the coming elections is then not between Nigerians and the bad politicians.
I'm coming, Bola. What we have on the ground is a situation that is dire. People are hungry. You have 4-year mandate. We have not even concluded. We have just concluded about 2 years, and we are not talking about the welfare. Why do government exist? Tell me. Number one, to care for the people.
Yes.
Protect lives and property. Are these things met? Are there any one of them that you can point at and say, yes, Nigerians are enjoying this? What are we saying? These things are just distractions. Because if we know where we are going, the welfare of the people should be at the front burner, not about elections. As far as I'm concerned, I care less. Welfare of the people, strengthen the economy. Let there be production going on. Let something be happening.
So you're saying that it doesn't really matter.
It is not. It is too early in the day to begin to talk about these things, because we have racketeers all over the place that parade as politicians. What are they doing to lift the people out of poverty? Every day Nigerians are sinking into depression, into so many things that they ought not to do, because the economy is not working. And yet we are talking about 2027. We are still looking at 2027, and the ones we have. My people have a proverb: if you prepare porridge and it's sweet, you add more yams. The one we have cooked, what are we eating? There's gravel all over the place. Let us concentrate on making life livable for Nigerians. That's where I stand. The average market woman in Dubai or Mokola or Bomosho does not care about a presidential election, governorship election coming before this and that. No, make her life livable first and foremost before you can talk of another thing. That's where I stand. I'm not against, but there must be priorities. What's our priority?
Thank you for your position. But one would, look and say that yes, Nigerians are suffering. There's no doubt to that. Every strata and every class.
We are told that we are not suffering. Somebody will call me now and say that I'm an alarmist. Don't worry, you will see here calls.
Now. However, don't you think that the Nigerians who are downtrodden and who are down, like you said, should care more about the elections? Because that is, for everything that happens, we say it's the government. How does this government come into power? By elections. So don't you think that the rhetoric should instead change to people then being extremely conscious of the leaders that they vote into power?
Okay, I will answer that question. How many Nigerians are even... Look, you can an empty bag cannot stand upright.
True.
Yes, people who have been people who have sunk into massive poverty. Bola, it takes the grace of God for a man who is poor to have integrity. It takes the grace of God. People who are looking for what to eat on daily basis, and you are bringing issue of election before them, there's no way they are going to vote right. They will not. Because they are do you know what it means to battle for survival? Do you know what it means for a family of 5 children, husband and wife? Every day they wake up, they don't know where the next meal is coming from, and you are talking about election in their presence. How do they think they will look at you? Because the poverty has been created, the massive poverty. If we are living right, If we Nigerians have food on their table, and you are bringing up this issue of election, that's when they will think straight and say, okay, the other time we did this, let's do this. But that is why you went to cover about a by-election, not by-election. What did you see there? Giving people 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira in order to vote. Why should we be? Because people have been dehumanized to the level that, well, even if you give them belebe to drink, they will still vote for you. What are you saying? So the most important thing is that let's do the needful. Is it all about election and election? Is it not about the welfare of the people? Is that not why government exists? Is it not about protection of the people? Every day people are killed. Don't open the pages of newspapers. We are not in the Middle East. We are in Nigeria. People are killed every day. The non-state actors are becoming bolder and bolder and bolder, even taking selfies with security operatives. And we are talking about election. That is what I'm saying. Let us do the needful. Let us face squarely. We know our problem. We are talking of having what do they call it? State police. The government is talking about police reform. Is that what will stop insecurity? Police reform? Police reform? Funding police? Have we not been funding them before? Let's have state police so that we can scale down the level of carnage going on in Nigeria in the name of insecurity.
So what you're saying is that it's not necessarily a bad idea, but it's wrong timing when there are other things that should be looked at.
Bola, when a man has problem of AIDS, you don't treat eczema. What you do is that you treat the AIDS first, because AIDS is more deadlier than eczema. What are we doing in Nigeria today? I'm not happy, because if I go to the street, I know what people are going through. Bola, people ordinarily you will see, you think that this is no longer normal, because people have been affected in so many ways. And you are talking of 2037 presidential election, governorship. Who cares? Who cares?
All right, thank you so much, Chukwemeka. Now, taking a look at the section 44, section 4, subsection 7 of the proposed amendment, it states that election into the office of the president and governor of a state shall be held not later than 185 days before the expiration of the term of office of the last holder of the office. For legislative elections, section 4, subsection 5 of the proposed amendment provides that elections into the state houses of assembly and the National Assembly shall be held not later than 185 days before the date on which each of the houses stands dissolved. So the timeline counting back 185 days leaves us around November 2026. Okay, and that's what was done yesterday at the joint public hearing. Meanwhile, the political parties, for example, the PDP, the Deputy National Youth Leader, Timothy Osadolo, accused the National Assembly of trying to buy more time for president. You know, they say their plan is to give the president an opportunity to stay a bit longer before he goes. And then he said that the move is ill-timed and not in the best interest of Nigerians. Similarly, the publicity secretary of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) said bringing the force forward could put the opposition at an advantage. However, the ADC, on the other hand, said the party would only comment after reviewing the draft amendment. Also, the factional spokesman of the Labour Party, Obi Oraifo, said the proposal is good. It will save costs and reduce tension. Now, the other day on one of our shows, Big 7 on Saturday at about 8:30 p.m., I was speaking with a professor of political science, and he said that why can't all the elections be held in a day? You know, to save costs, to also ensure that there's no, how did he put it? To also ensure that there are no electoral malpractices. What do you think about that?
You see, Bola, when you talk of elections, conducting the whole elections in one day, it's not workable.
Why?
It can't work. We lack transparency to make things work. And let me tell you something. All these beavers, rivers, everything they are brought together in the name of electoral reform. It has not helped us. If you don't reform your mind, even if you bring beavers and whatever that is above beavers, you cannot have a transparent election.
How then do we reform
our mind? We reform our mind by changing our mindset that Look, we must have values in this country. There's no values again. Everything has been eroded. If you have value that, look, I cannot be a leader unless I'm voted for. Let me even shock you. When I was writing for a particular newspaper in Lagos, I met an elderly man, Ajuluchuku. He was one of the secretaries to Chief Obafemi Awolowo. We were in a newsroom, and this man was telling us a story. He said, during that, was it 1979 election, that they went and told Chief Awolowo that, other parties are planning to rig. He said Awolowo told them that if Nigerians don't give me their vote willingly, I will not be their leader. That's a man of integrity. What are we saying? All these racketeers all over the place, buying things all over the place because they want to remain in power. They have nothing to offer Nigerians. If you have something to offer people, you will not come to the position of leadership through fraud. You will do it transparently because you have something to offer. And the people, look, if we cannot organize elections in one day, we cannot. I still believe, yes, you may call it old school. When we had option A4 under Ibrahim Buhari, under Babangida, during this Nwosu election, Nwosu organized option A4, queue behind the person you want to vote for. My people have a proverb that I'm coming, I'm coming. Yes, because we say we are. The
president won't go to all.
I'm coming. No, there's a picture there. He can't stand in front. You can't. You put the picture of the party, and we don't need to see the people, but the party and the person contesting.
But that defeats the point of
secret
ballots.
I'm coming. I'm coming. This secret ballot. Even if we do secret ballot and option A4, this thing we are doing now, has it helped us? This one we are doing electronically, has it helped us?
The beavers, to an extent, has helped.
How did it help?
Because now, unlike before, where...
Who will operate the beavers? Is it not human beings? Is it not Nigeria that will operate it?
Yes, but it's electronic, and so it's only the number of people who are accredited on the beavers
that brings out your details. You are talking as if you just came into this country. That's why Nigerians... I'm coming. That's why Nigerians don't have confidence in any of our electoral listing. They don't. And this new man that came on board, Amopeto, he has a lot of work to do. Because you have to make Nigerians still have trust in the electoral empire. Nigerians have been abused through elections. You go to people that you come, an individual will come out and say, I made this man a governor. What does that tell you as an individual? That, so all we voted for is nonsense. So it was this man that made this person a governor. What are you saying? So if we want beavers to work, and we want people that will operate it will be transparent. That's what I'm saying. As far as we lack transparency in our country and we reward corruption, we can't have a good election. And that's the reason, look at the whole of Africa. The reason why we have upheavals in most African countries is because the elections are not genuine. People, they are compromised here and there. That's why people have lost confidence. They believe that, whatever that. That's why I'm still saying what I'm saying. Whether election or no election, Nigerians must be cared for first. Let us be alive first. If nobody even knows what will happen tomorrow. Do we know? The good book said, number your days. Our politicians are behaving as if they have death in their pocket. Anybody can go at any time. But the moment you are in that office, it's a ministry. Make sure you care for the people. Are they caring for us? You have 10,000 naira in your hand and it vanishes. You begin to wonder, what did we buy with it? And we keep hearing that people are not poor, things are improving. Where are they improving?
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts, Chukwemeka. We'll take a break shortly, but when we come back, we'll move to the education sector as well, because ASU is on strike. And the response of the federal government is, well, I won't say it's a bit surprising. It is surprising to me, maybe not surprising to some, because they are insisting that Vice Chancellor should enforce the no work, no pay. And also there's the issue of Conwa, who are saying that they're not on strike. So we'll unpack all of this when we come back from our break. But don't go away. It's Perspectives Unlimited right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. When we come back as well, you, our dear listeners, will be able to contribute to the show, because we're going to let out the phone lines, and we're going to open up the phone lines so that you can be a part of the conversation. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
preferred wholesome radio.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
ṣùgbọ́n ti tọ́jọ́ mẹ́ta tá a ti ń fọrẹ́rẹ́ ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọlọ́jọ́ méjì lórí ọ̀gbìn èso kùkúmbà eléyìí tí iléeṣẹ́ West Radio 89.3 FM pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ Olatfarm ń gbé kalẹ̀ fún àǹfààní àwọn ènìyàn léyìí tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ láti lọ sínú iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tí ò yé wọn àti gbogbo àwọn tó tún wá ọ̀nà míì tí owó yóò fi máa wọlé fún wọn. nínú eléyìí tó ti kọ́ wa nípa gbogbo àwọn àpàdé àti àlùdé tó wà nídìí ọ̀gbìn kùkúmbà nítorí pé kùkúmbà jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára èso pàtàkì léyìí tó jẹ́ pé àti àsìkò gbígbìn àti àsìkò ìkórè rẹ̀ ìpẹ́ rárá. Láti fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ènìyàn láǹfààní láti kópa nínú ètò yìí, iléeṣẹ́ West Radio pẹ̀lú àjọṣepọ̀ Olatfarm ti wá gbìyànjú láti fi ọjọ́ díẹ̀ kún àsìkò ìforúkọsílẹ̀ fún ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ́jọ́ méjì náà. Ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ náà ló ti wá di sísún sí ọjọ́ 24 àti ọjọ́ 25 oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2025. Ìyẹn Friday àti Saturday October 24 and 25 2025 láti fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ènìyàn láǹfààní láti kópa nínú ètò náà. Lára àǹfààní tẹ́ jẹ ó ní fífúnni níwèé orí ẹ̀rọ ọ̀fẹ́ láti tọ́ni sọ́nà. Bákan náà láǹfààní láti ṣe àyẹ̀wò sóko yàtọ̀ sí ẹ̀kọ́ tíọ́rì tó bá kọ́ yín. $30,000 30,000 lówó ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ inú ọgbà iléeṣẹ́ West Radio 89.3 FM gangan lẹ́yìn tó wà lópòpónà Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ìbàdàn lẹ́tọ̀ yóò ti wáyé. Tẹ́ ẹ bá nífẹ̀ẹ́ láti kópa nínú ètò ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ yìí tẹ́yìn náà fẹ́ kúrò nípa kòsíkòsí àti àìníṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ fi àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ I am interested in cucumber training ẹ fi ṣọwọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ tàbí sójú òpó WhatsApp 0813-864-2544 0813-864-2544 tàbí 0803-509-3394 0803-509-3394. Ẹ rántí wípé ìgbìyànjú nǹkan tuntun ló ń jẹ́ kí àwọn olówó máa lówó sí i. Àìlè ìgbìyànjú nǹkan tuntun pẹ̀lú ìbẹ̀rù láti pàdánù ló mú ni wà nípò ẹ̀yìn.
It's back, bigger, bolder, and better. The Big 7 Stories returns to Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Join Bolanle Oduekun every Saturday from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. as she breaks down the 7 biggest headlines of the week: politics, economy, security, lifestyle, and more. Plus, in our special segment, I Report, we dig deeper into one headline with expert insights and the voices of everyday Nigerians. Don't miss the comeback of the Big 7 Stories every Saturday from 8:30 p.m. only on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, the wholesome radio station.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest business unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited right here at Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. We're live and the studio lines are open. You can be a part of the conversation this morning. We started off the show talking about the proposed electoral reforms by, the legislative chamber proposing to hold elections in November 2026. The phone lines are open: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333 893. I'll take them again: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333 893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. Now let's move let's move to ASU. On Sunday, effective midnight 12 Monday, ASU said that its members would go on strike, and this is about nothing other than the 2009 agreement, as well as several other things. The main frame of it is the 2009 agreement that they had with President Yaradua. Now, the strike by ASU is on at the moment. Students who were probably preparing for exams are back home and all of that. And the federal government, now ASU has been talking about this for a long while. They've, in fact, since last year, if I'm not wrong, they've been talking about this since last year, and they've made several steps to go on strike. But the federal government has always found a way to say, okay, hold on, let's talk, let's have a discussion. And this latest one, they gave their dates, and the federal government said, oh, we're going to have a negotiation committee. I talked about it here on Perspectives. You're going to have a negotiation committee. You sit down with them, you talk, you negotiate, and all of that. And ASU is saying, why? Because I listened to the speech of the ASU chairman. He said, why is it that, whenever they want to go on strike, the federal government doesn't do anything until the last minute? That if truly the federal government is really, really interested in solving this, they wouldn't wait until the last moment all the time. They waited until the last moment the previous time, and they disappointed them. And they're saying that they have shown that they have no integrity. Now, the federal government, on the other hand, has now mandated the National Universities Commission, the NUC, to submit attendance list of all lecturers across public universities in 7 days' time. They've told the VCs as well. This is because they want to mandate a no work, no pay policy, which they did the last time, but which didn't exactly work, because the lecturers insisted that they must be paid before they go back. And the NLC rather has also expressed solidarity for ASU berating the Minister of Education to Jalausa over the move to implement a no work, no pay policy. Let's take a look at this. The federal government's response to this action.
Okay, Bola, when they removed, one of the reasons for the removal of fuel subsidy is that the country will have a lot of resources, a lot of funds. We have removed fuel subsidy. Governors are swimming in funds. The federal government has a lot, to the point that the president told us that no more borrowing. Later, they ate their words and went back to borrowing. Now, we have ASU. We know the role of ASU. What are they asking for? Conclusion of renegotiated 2009 FGN and ASU agreement. Release of withheld 3.5 months salaries. Sustainable funding of public universities, among other things. Sustainable funding. Is it for them? No. They want university education to be top-notch. Sustainable funding. When you talk of sustainable funding, you are talking about critical infrastructure that has to do with education. You are talking about research funding. You are talking about scholarship. You are talking of making the ivory tower a place where the country will depend on for innovations, for research, for things that will help the country to march forward. That's what ASU is asking for. Now, let's look at the political class. These are issues that should agitate their minds. These are things that will occupy their attention. That, look, let's resolve this issue of ASU and federal government before we even talk of 2027 and the election, whether governorship.
Hello,
Okay.
Good morning.
This is Aderonke from Muslim.
Adoronke, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Let's have your contribution, please.
Yeah, my contribution on the opposition election. So, as at this time, I don't think the election should be their utmost priority, rather than how to relieve the masses of their suffering. Just take a look at it. There has been an hike in the price of gas since last 2 weeks now. In my area, we are getting 1 kg for 1,008, which is not how to be. So they should please try and do the national election at this time. And come 2027, when the election time is yet, we know what we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adoronke, saying that that's not what we need now. What we need now.
So, ASU now asking for these things. Now, our politicians are not looking into that direction. And I've said it yesterday. Why are they not looking? Their children are not here. Yes. If their children are here, if Nigeria is a country where we know where we are going and we want to build a state, a nation where everybody will be happy, there should be a law that when you are in government, your children must not school outside this country. If their children are schooling here, you think they will doing this into ASU? How do you go and tell them no work, no pay? Has it ever worked? You are throwing fuel into an inferno. Because these people are not children. They know what you are collecting as politicians. They know. And you are giving them peanuts. And you are even threatening them. How can it work? Now, sustainable funding of public universities. Revitalization of public universities. The ones we have not funded them enough. And we are still giving licenses to private universities.
Now, to add salt to injury, recall that a while ago, the federal government launched a tertiary institution staff support fund, offering up to 10 million naira in loans for staff in tertiary institutions, including federal universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, and some selected state-owned tertiary institutions. And you remember the response of ASU.
They rejected it.
ASU rejected it,
yes,
saying that they have their cooperatives for that if they need loans.
Fine. They have their cooperatives. They know why they rejected it. But why should the even government give them that kind of offer? That's the question. When you are not transparent in dealing with people, they can't trust you. Even if you tell them good morning in the morning, they will answer you good night. Because you have not been forthcoming in dealing with it. Look, whatever that has to do with us, has to do with Nigerians as a whole. Most parents in Nigeria are affected right now. When the children are back home, with the children of politicians, are they back home? They are not back home because they are schooling abroad. So it doesn't concern them. So that's why I'm saying that government should look into this ASU problem. If there is if they are asking of conclusion of renegotiated 2009 agreement, look at it again and talk to them. They are not children. We cannot provide this at this point in time, and let them see you also as politicians not living extravagant lives, and you are telling them to go and tighten their belt while you are not tightening your own. It can't work that way. So let them look at I believe in agreement in Georgia. Let's dialogue. If they dialogue and say, okay, because of this, we cannot be able to meet this at this point in time. Now, pay them this withheld 3.5 months salary. Pay them. How many politicians do we owe in Nigeria? Do we owe them? How many of them? How many politicians? Police people have gone on protest, all because of money. Retired people have gone on protest, all because of money. These people, people that are working in National Assembly have gone on protest because of money. How many politicians have gone on strike because they didn't pay them? That's the question.
All right. Thank you so much, Chukwemeka, for that. We will. It's a matter we'll continue to look at. But let's quickly talk before moving to other things. Let's talk about Konwa.
Konwa is a you know, Konwa came during the time of Chris Ngige. They wanted to break ASU. Konwa. Who talks about Konwa? Nobody. They are not. They say they came out yesterday to say they are not part of the strike. Who cares about them? Because people knew how they came up. You understand? You know, a breakaway. Whenever something is called a breakaway, you know that thing lacks as legitimacy.
Also, now we know that the what happens is that whenever ASU goes on strike, the students and the parents, majority of them blame ASU. It's happening again now. Some students are saying, "Oh, we're just." For example, I saw a report yesterday where some students of University of Ibadan said that they were getting ready innocently for their own exams, and ASU decided to go on strike.
Bola, that is how Nigeria rolls. We blame victims instead of people that caused the problem. That's our problem in Nigeria. When a lady is raped, do you know why do you even dress like that? Look at the powder you rub. You didn't rub it well. We blame victims in Nigeria. We don't blame the people who perpetrated the act. That's our national ethos. That's what we do in this country. Nobody will sit down and ask, why did you even blame the person? Look at now what we are talking about, the pardon. Do you know the significance of that pardon that the president did? It means that the victims, you are protecting the criminals against the victims. In a Senate climb.
But eventually,
I'm coming.
You're still going to pardon someone.
No.
You won't pardon the innocent.
I'm coming. You pardon low-key offenders, not high-profile offenders. Low-key offenders. Now, you are making it difficult for even people in the security system to apprehend criminals because they know that at the end of the day, by a stroke of a pen, they will be affected. Look, the Minister of Solid Minerals, 2 weeks ago, told Nigerians that he was receiving threat letters, threat messages. Now, how many illegal miners were forgiven by the president? Now, what do you think they will look at the minister? That's what I'm saying. We do things without sitting down to count the cost. I'm not a politician, but I can still think, and I can still sit down and say, when we do this, what are the consequences? That's the question. Don't take action that you know that the consequences will be calamitous. Now, this pardon, now, the minister of, I will use him as an example because I read it. He said 2 weeks ago that he was receiving threat messages. Pronto, President pardoned 41 illegal miners. Well, how do you think they will look at the man? As the minister, how do you think the minister will have the willpower again to work to secure minerals that are buried in the ground of Nigeria? He will not. He will not be very careful because the people that were arrested under his office have not been pardoned. What do you think the man will do? He will short pedal. That is it. And this thing has diplomatic consequences. How will countries relate with us as a people? A nation where criminals are pardoned at random, you think they will come here with their money? They will not. There are so many interpretations. You don't do this emotionally. You sit down and think through. How do we pardon these people? Low-key offenders, people who, do you know there's some people in prison, they didn't do anything. But these ones, look at all of them. It is like people that are highly connected. No matter what you have done, they release you. It is not wrong.
All right. In case you're not familiar with what our analyst is talking about, it's about the pardon granted last week.
Yes.
By the president. Well, the president, yes. And notable among them is the pardon of Miriam Sonda, who was sentenced for killing her husband. Now, the family of the late husband, Biliamino Bello, has condemned the presidential pardon granted to Miriam Sonda, who was convicted and sentenced to death for his murder. They described the move as the worst possible injustice that any family could be made to go through. And in a statement yesterday, Dr. Bello Mohammed, on behalf of the family, said that the decision by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to include Miriam Sonda among the inmates recently pardoned under the prerogative of mercy principle has reopened painful wounds that had barely healed. They say to have Miriam Sonda walk the face of the earth again, free from any blemish for her heinous crimes, as if she had merely squashed an ant, is the worst possible injustice any family could be made to go through for a loved one. That's a part of the statement. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the beautiful radio woman.
Good morning to you, Mr. Mario. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
May God continue to increase your knowledge in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I joined I'm in line with what you just said, analysis about the presidential pardon. This is uncalled for. It is barbaric. This is lawlessness. I don't even know the next adjective to use again. Why would a president pardon a lady who killed her husband? How do you expect the family to feel? Look at what the family of the deceased, look at what they were saying. What our honorable man just read just now. You know, that means justice has not been served. Mr. Chikubeka, let me keep in this. Among those that have been pardoned by the president was a notorious kidnap kingpin called Kevin Prosper. If you Google Kevin Prosper, you discover that he was a dreaded leader of a kidnapping and robbery gang that was implicated in the killing of many police and military officers, as well as some of his victims. Let me remind you that on the 25th of September 2013, a combined security team of the Nigerian Army and DSS operated. They arrested Kevin Prosper Oniara, and he happens to be a notorious terrorist kidnapping, and he kills a wife. And this guy was he was among those that was released by the president. Let me tell you that this particular guy. He was a guy that kidnapped a judge of the Edo State Judiciary some years back. He was a guy that kidnapped a top female official of the FIS board some years back. And I can go on and on, but because of time, I don't want to delve into that. And this is a guy that was being released by Mr. President. Then what happened to the police officer that he has killed? What happened to the army officer that he has killed? What happened to those people that he has killed? That means you are telling to go that I want to put to want to get. So what are we now saying? In fact, this is history will never forget what Mr. President is doing. Now, I want to beg our security agencies, all of them, that they should not be sad about this, because they are working day and night to ensure that they clean up the illegality in the country, that they rid out the country of criminal individuals. And now it's so disheartening that as much our security personnel are working, the sitting president is telling them that those people that are those drug kingpins, those truck pushers, those people who have killed us with, the president said, don't worry, just the fact that they have been arrested by security agencies, I'm freeing you. And the thing is that this you always forget, you never forget what Mr. President has done.
Thank you
and
so
lastly,
much, Mr.
on the issue of the ASU, I think I was watching the ASU president yesterday when he was talking on the national television, and the Minister of Education was trying to lambast him, telling the ASU president that he called for series of meetings that the ASU president did not come. And when the man came out yesterday to say his own part, the ASU president, in fact, you'll be mind-blowing by what your mind will be wild looking at what that ASU president said yesterday. In his remarks, he said that there are several letters written to the office of the Minister of Education to have a case on the issue on ground, and the minister did not even acknowledge any of this letter. And now the strike has commenced now. Well, what I can say is that let ASU embark on that strike. Let the federal government be much more proactive enough to down to the tune of ASU. What they have agitated for since 2020, 2009, and this is 2025.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mario. All right. You can be a part of the conversation as well. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning to
to
our
you.
analysts in the studio. Suleiman Sheriff for the Nara.
You're welcome, Mr.
Please,
Sheriff.
anytime we phone in, let us try to minimize it. We have a lot of caller on the line. So let me go straight on presidential pardon because I already did drop my comment about that on your Facebook page.
Yes,
so about the president pardon, Mr. President encourage more criminals. Let us put Miriam Snyder aside. What about those people that are related by drugs, narcotic drugs? And Mr. President pardon them. That means that action speaks volume that the effort to curb illicit drugs in our country to NDNE is like the effort is really total abortive, which is not supposed to be. So that means Mr. President don't do is like encourage more criminals for us in this country. That's my own submission.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sulaiman.
Let me even tell you something, Bola. Herbert Macaulay was among those pardoned. Herbert Macaulay's conviction, I don't want to talk the circumstances. It happened in 1913 when Nigeria was not even in existence. Nigeria came into existence January 1st, 1914. Herbert Macaulay was convicted 1913. So under which law did we pardon? Was Nigeria in existence? Nigeria was not even in existence. And this man's the portrait is on 100 naira coins, or is still there. Now, why is Macaulay a criminal that needs pardon? What did he do? When they said he committed was 1913, Nigeria was not even in existence. So everything is just theater. If you want to pardon terminally ill prisoners are there, people that are terminally ill, people that are already about to conclude their sentences, people that you can offer a second low-key offenders, people that stole fowl, people that stole yam, they are there. These are people, not people that undermine the security of the system, not high-profile offenders who even undermine the city, the social structure of a state. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Chukwemeka. Quickly, let's take a look at some of the comments on our Facebook page, and if there's time, we'll take one more story before we wrap up. On our Facebook page, Sulaiman Sheriff says, "Good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. Our National Assembly should propose a bill to separate the presidential election day from both Senate and House of Rep member election. Let's be having them on separate dates, and it should reciprocate at the state level as well." There's a Yoruba adage there that I won't read out. Also, he then went on to make another comment where he said it is truly disappointing to see the ASU forced to embark on another strike, despite President Tinubu's loud promises during his campaign that such days were over. This development exposes the government's negligence and failure to prioritize the education sector. Empty promises can't fix our universities. Real commitment and responsible leadership can solve the problem. Thank you so much, Sulaiman Sheriff, for your contribution. Now, coming to the PDP, the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, has warned. Can we take this call?
Okay.
I wonder. Let's see. Hello, good morning. Hello,
good morning. West Radio.
Good morning, sir. You have just about 2 minutes for your contribution. Your name and where you're calling from,
My name is George. I'm calling from Oduekun.
All right, sir.
I just want to add to what Chukwemeka has been saying. Now, what do you want this woman who is in charge of illegal drugs and fake drugs coming into this country to do now? You still want her to go about looking for people to arrest? These ones that they release now, they will be mocking the woman. Nigeria, please. We should look at what will make us better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George, for your contribution. Meanwhile, Governor Seyi Makinde has warned those attempting to disrupt preparations for the PDP's forthcoming national convention, which is slated for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan, to stop. He described their efforts as an attempt to stop a moving train and asked that he likened to political suicide. He said Oyo State would deliver the best convention in the party's history. We continue to look at the PDP at the moment, which has not come together to one. There's still camps under the PDP, but we'll continue to monitor the situation. This is how far we can go. Perspectives Unlimited. Thank you so much, Chukwemeka.
Thank you, Bola, for having me.
All right. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the show. You know that this show is for you, and I will always value and appreciate your contribution. This is how far we can go. AM Sports is coming up next with Sam Adeliri. So don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned.